I had no idea that there was over $700 worth of stuff sitting in 3 boxes on the floor in my office. I'd forgotten this stuff was even in there. Join me today as I go through these boxes. Let's see what we can find. All right, these are the boxes in question that I'm talking about. This book here, my wife brought that back from an op shop recently because she knows that I love Billy Connolly, but what she didn't know is that I've already read this and I already have it. This one is a book that I bought for me. It needs to go somewhere right there between all those CDs and blank cassette tapes. Seems like a pretty stupid place to put them, but that's where I'm putting them for now. So we got 1, 2, 3 boxes, and we've got this here, which is a sewing machine. I already know that that is a sewing machine. It's just been a very long time since I looked at it. It weighs an absolute ton, and we would have got it for free on the Hard Rubbish at some point. And I'm pretty sure that my good wife has fixed it up. It's ready for resale. It's very heavy though, so I'm not sure that I'm going to sell it on eBay. I'm going to probably list it on Marketplace. Let's figure out how much I should list it for. It comes in this case, which is a sort of faux leather. Let's open her up here. There we go. Oh, okay, so it's a Singer. And it's pretty cool. Capri, I guess that's the model name. I don't really want to pull it right out of here, but we can see that we have a foot pedal in there and a power cord. Let's go and look it up now and see what it's worth if it works. Looks pretty cool. Very funky kind of brown. What do you reckon? Maybe 1970s? They seem to like brown a lot in the 70s. My neighbour, who's a lovely guy, but does like his noisy machines, has started up with his log splitter again. There's a lot of trees where we live. I understand you've got to deal with it. However, I really am hoping that you're not listening to me talk now with the sound of a log splitter in the background going, because it's freaking annoying. So we're taking a photo of this sewing machine and then using my advanced technological skills to go to Google and say, hey computer, tell me what is this worth? Am I a millionaire now? I don't think I'm going to be a millionaire from this, but one day from something. This is a Singer Capri sewing machine, a model typically manufactured in the mid-70s. Boom. Hey, got that right. Yada, 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 yada. Oh, I love the way it says, this machine features a 2-tone beige and brown color scheme. Like, okay, I can see that. I need a value, man. Give me a value. I think if you click in the field, it'll normally pop up with how much is it worth. There we are. How much is it worth? Drum roll, please. $1 million. This sewing machine typically has a resale value of around $150. So that's pretty good. $150 off the bat. Not a bad start. The value can vary, blah, 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 blah. Oh, here's one on eBay. Let's have a look. Did it sell? I know you can sell sewing machines on eBay, and I have done so many times, but this one is particularly heavy. I'm talking like 10 kilograms minimum, maybe 20. I don't know. I'm not a human friggin' scale, but it's very, very heavy. And then things just get really expensive when things are that heavy. And yeah, okay, if they're prepared to pay for the cost of the postage to Broome from Melbourne. Broome is like the diametric opposite. It's like sending something from like New York to Los Angeles, except that one of those cities has to not be a big city. In this case, it needs to be a remote outpost. Singer Capri, here we are, $80. Singer Capri, $50. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to list it for $150 on Facebook Marketplace. And if someone offers me less, I'm going to take it. All right, moving on. Oh, wait a second. I just noticed that in the thing there's a little container full of bits and bobs. I can sell them with the sewing machine, but I've made some good money out of selling the little bits that come with sewing machines, so I might part them out and put them on eBay separately. Oh, it's a satisfying zip noise. Okay, what's next in here? All right, so this is a coffee maker. It's like a vintage coffee maker for your car. And I don't think I've listed this one. I have listed this one up here already. They're a bit rubbish. and old, and yet weirdly they seem to have a market for them from memory. So let's have a look. Let's look them up now. It's called the Auto Coffee Maker for your car. Indeed. This is a vintage brand auto coffee maker designed to plug into a car's cigarette lighter. I can see some eBay listings already. I actually remember that I got this from an op shop in Euroa, which is a little town north of Melbourne. This one is selling for 28 bucks, but you know, is it? So let's have a look at some solds if we can find any. 0 results. Not promising. I remember I bought it for $3, but I didn't inspect it. There's quite a few. The photo seems to have done a better job of identifying it. Let's see if we can find any solds. Yeah, okay, so it's a bit of an obscure item. People do buy these old plug-in coffee maker things. So basically, my understanding of them is that you plug them into the old cigarette lighter power, and they're from like the 60s and the 70s and stuff, right? I mean, these things are old. I mean, it seems like a great way to start a fire inside your vehicle. But anyway, I guess maybe people find them useful. I don't know, truck drivers or caravanners or whatever. Do you want to have a look at it? Let's have a look. This is what it is, right? So you got this sort of element inside, I guess heats up your coffee. You plug this bit into the cigarette lighter, and it's got a cup on top. Oh, and another little cup, little mini cup. You're an espresso man. I don't know if it works. I don't know if anyone wants it. I only know that there's a sort of seems to be a bit of a market for these old ones, but nothing that exciting. There's some very old crusty instructions there. I'm thinking I'm going to list it for $30 on eBay. Let's put that to one side and see what else is in those boxes. Next cab off the rank. What is it? A camera bag. I don't remember where this came from or how it came to be in my possession, but I'm going to take a photo of it now, and then I'm going to go and see what it's worth. So I've done a little bit of digging, and I've figured out that this is actually like a CD Walkman or Discman case that you put your Discman in the front here, and your headphone comes out this hole, or the cord comes out there, and then in here you put your CD little book, your little book full of all your CDs in there, and you carry it around with you. Very convenient and modern and funky. I've done a bit of research, and it looks like I could sell it for, I reckon, about 40 bucks. I'll let you know how it goes. The next thing that I have pulled out of the box is this vintage dolly pram, and this has already been listed on my eBay account for a long time. So why it's in there with the other stuff, I'm not sure. But I tell you what, it'd be good if it sold already. I've sold a couple of them before, and everyone looks at this one, but they never buy it. I might put it on Marketplace and see if someone there shifts it, because I would like to see the back of it, frankly. Stupid little thing. Get out of here. That opens up the box a bit, so let's go and have a look in there. Well, looking in the box, some old bum bag here. I seriously doubt that's worth anything. But if I have randomly stumbled upon the one bum bag in the world that's worth a million zillion, then let me know. But I'm going to do this for now. Bunch of roller skates. I didn't know I had so many roller skates. It's got a pretty interesting little leather protector thing on the front, and we have 2 of them. Check. Righto, as you can tell from the different hat, it is now tomorrow because I ran out of space on my phone before and I had to stop shooting because I had other things to do and I didn't have time to fuss about with the phone. Now I'm just taking a short break to tell you about a couple of things that I'm posting off today because they did and gone sold. Now the thing is, it has been a little slow still. It's been a bit up and down. I know that it's not just me. I know that my stock is not complete rubbish. I have lots of good stock, and it used to sell a lot more than it does at the moment. It's winter. It's a bit weird with the whole eBay thing right now. I don't know what it is, but I've been into that in other videos, and I won't babble on about it too much. Suffice to say that some days have been good. Some days have been a bit rubbish. Some days have been average. And this would be an average day in which we have 3 sales to post. And I'm going to run through them with you now for your information. We'll start with the least exciting to the most exciting. This one is a lovely book called Graffiti Woman, which we have had on our own personal bookshelves for quite some time. It's sold for $29.99, We decided to get rid of it because it had just been sitting on the bookshelves for years and we never really looked at it anymore. As you can see, it's a lovely book, but it's sold for $29.99, which, given that the cost of goods is long since forgotten, is okay. But the thing also is that it's going to Queensland and it's quite heavy. So, okay sales, not bad. I guess it's going to cost me maybe $15-ish to post. We'll probably get like 10 bucks profit out of it or something. The next sale is from Depop, and it's one of these two. Can you tell which one? The magnifying glass or the shoes? If you said the shoes, you are correct. Kids Merrell hiking boots, and they sold for $26.79. My wife would have purchased them at an op shop for the purposes of reselling on Depop. She never pays more than $5, and I imagine she paid less than that. I'm not quite sure. We get $26.79 once Depop has had their wicked way with us, and I reckon it'll cost about $12 to post. So that's a good $12 or $14 profit. And the final sale is perhaps the best one of the day. You may know these books or you may not. It has a lovely shadow on it right now, doesn't it? That doesn't come with it. I'm sorry if you're the person who bought it on eBay. You don't get the lovely artistic shadow. But you do get a Shirley Barber fairy tale jigsaw book in great condition with all of the pieces. This is a classic book that you may often find in the op shops, but without all the pieces, in which case it makes it nowhere near as valuable. I got it for $12 at an op shop, but when I saw it, I kind of knew that it was going to be worth buying, and I was right, because it sold in about 2 weeks for $53.65. We end up getting $48.30, and then shipping, which will probably cost about, I don't know, maybe $15. Not sure, that's a very rough guess. A great book in great condition, and the sort of thing that I don't show my lovely daughter because she loves things like this, and she loves a lot of things that I sell, and honestly, her room would just be full of all the things that I never got to list if I showed her everything. Is that mean of me? Am I a cruel and horrible father? Too bad! And hold the phone because we've just had another sale. Here it is, George R.R. Martin's A Clash of Kings. Bit of a scrappy old vintage copy, which just sold for $30. I'll take it. I reckon I probably got it for $1 or $2. I can't remember now, but it wouldn't have been more than that, surely. It's now the day after the day before. Don't worry about it. It's the same thing, really. Same room. My neighbour is out there making the same noise with the same wood splitter. I swear to God. And we are still here looking at this pile of boxes behind me and going through to see what treasures we do or don't find in there. Now, you might remember that where I was at was I just discovered some roller skates at the bottom of the first tub. So let's go and see whether they're any good or not. Right, I've pulled them out so we can have a look at them. The first pair that I pulled out was this pair here, which look pretty cool. They're sort of a really solid pair of vintage looking skates. I don't know if they are vintage or not. And they don't have a brand, which is what makes me think they might be vintage. Like, I can't find a brand anywhere inside here. All I can see actually is that somebody has scribbled the size 6.5 on the inside in Texter. They have these leather things on the front to protect the toes, and you know, it looks like somebody has taken the time to put new wheels on and whatnot. I don't know anything about this. For all I know, these are my wife's mother's roller skates from the 70s or something. I'm not sure. I'll go and ask her. However, pretty hard to look up because there's no brand. So I'm not quite sure what to do with those. And sometimes this is why things sit in my death pile for too long. It's because they're a bit hard to figure out what to do with them. Now, this one here, the black one, here, obviously there's two. The black one here has a brand on it called Redstone, and it has Redstone wheels as well. I had a look at Redstone on the eBay app, and I saw lots of them for sale for like $200-300, so I got pretty excited. However, I did not see one sale of any Redstone roller skates, so now I'm not excited about that. And there's a third pair here, which is a kid's pair, and the brand is Starfire. And the good news about Starfires is that there's heaps of sales on there. The bad news, on there I mean eBay, the bad news is that they don't seem to sell for that much. And the ones that have sold seem to be in better condition than this, which look like they have taken a fair old beating. is the other roller skate here. Looks like it needs a good cleanup. So I'm not really sure what to do with these. I kind of got excited because I thought maybe I had hundreds of dollars worth of product to sell there. Maybe I do, I'm really not sure, but I feel a bit suspicious that it might not be that great. So what I'm going to do about the roller skates is go and have a chat to my wife, because I'm pretty sure she'll have more of an idea whether they're worth reselling, and if so, how I would position them on the app, on eBay, or whether I should try and get rid of them via Facebook Marketplace. Could be a win, not sure. It's in the sort of fuzzy zone. And the good thing about that is you can win big. You can surprise yourself. The bad thing about it is that it could be a bit of a waste of time spent going down rabbit holes about vintage roller skates and obscure brands, only to work out that it's not really worth that much money. Not sure, but let's keep digging into the next box. This one right there. It is to some extent full of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are weirdly popular, and I've sold a bunch of them. And they're quite funny when you wrap them up sometimes, especially the big ones, because it looks like a dinosaur wrapped in plastic. Now, these ones are all clearly the same. They have this hexagon shape on top. Oh, actually, these ones have a button. I'm going to have to do a bit of research to see whether these are worth anything. I'll come back and let you know. Meanwhile, what else is in this box here? Remote control car. This baseball glove. Reliance. Another dinosaur that goes with this herd of dinosaurs over here. A Dora the Explorer umbrella. Everything in this box I got for free. It's all either been a hard rubbish pickup or a Facebook Marketplace pickup. And I suspect that a lot of what is in here is just junkety junk. Now this is one of my bags that I wrap things up in. Oh, this is bits to go with this microscope here. It's just cheap rubbish. It's tap. Nobody's going to want it. This might be one of those schlubu. I can't remember the name of those animals, but I suspect this is one of those. So this can go over here for further investigation. Isn't that cute? Now these little guys, they're quite annoying once they start. Might be able to sell that. Pretty sure that everything else in here is a bunch of rubbish. That looks like an old McDonald's toy. I'll put that in my box full of McDonald's toys. Oh, here's another farm animal. I'm not sure if they're the good ones or just random shit plastic farm. Oh, he's giving him a kiss. Look, the panda's giving the polar bear a kiss. No. Yeah, that looks like a pretty rubbishy zebra. Little tiny dinosaur. I don't know what that is, and I suspect it's nothing. So I think that's about it. Some old Matchbox cars, maybe, if that's what it is. I don't know a lot about Matchbox cars, but it feels like every time I look at them, they're just worthless junk. What's this? Oh, British Airways aeroplane. You know, that's the kind of weird random thing that somebody might be keen on buying. So here's the pile of stuff that I'm going to investigate further. I'm going to try and do it as quickly as possible. And the reason I'm going to investigate them as quickly as possible is because I don't want to waste time just looking up silly little toys for 2 hours only to discover that none of them are really worth anything. So I'm going to do a quick look up and see what I think, and I'm going to make some brutal decisions. And then we're going to get into the last box, which I can't remember what's in it. Well, I suspect it could have something to do with, what's that kids TV show? Can't remember. It's a famous kids TV show, and I think a lot of people like buying. Well, you'll just have to wait until after I've done the next bit and come back to that box, all right? The Reliance baseball glove. I don't know, maybe 30 bucks. This little Shamrock Zuzu pet thing, maybe 20 bucks. This remote control car here, These two guys here are indeed Schleisch, or however you pronounce it, figurines that maybe are worth $10 to $15 each. I'll probably try and flog the two of them off for 20 bucks. Oh, don't sniff his butt. Oh, come on. This here Super City bus thing could have been worth something if it wasn't completely buggered. Okay, the dinosaurs. So they're mostly Fisher-Price Imaginext dinosaurs, ranging in price from $15 up to about $30 or something. I think this guy at the back here, if he works, is worth selling by himself. Probably the best thing for me to do is to sell them as a job lot. And also this guy here is not one of these guys. He's the odd guy out. He's a squishy one from the 80s, but he doesn't seem that amazing. Might just throw him in with the rest, I think. So maybe $100 if I'm lucky. Let's be more pessimistic than that though and say 60. This now leaves us with the last box of this job lot, which I cannot see into and I have not opened for a long time, so I'm a bit excited. I do remember that I bought it at a garage sale, and I do remember vaguely that the price for the whole box was about $100. I also remembered the character, the television show character, that I know there are some stuff of in there, which is Bob the Builder. I don't know whether it's all Bob the Builder, whether there's other stuff in there as well, nor whether I should have paid $100 for this. So let's find out. Alrighty, here it is. Well, let's have a look. It's time for the grand reveal. I have been wondering for quite some time when I would get around to opening this up. Gosh, there's a bunch of stuff in there. What do we have? Well, firstly, we seem to have some, what are they, music stands? Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if they're worth anything. I suspect not, but anyway, we'll have a look and find out. What else do we have in here? All right, so it's not all Bob the Builder because there's some DVDs in here that I'd completely forgotten about. Big Love. I've never heard of that. I better look it up and see whether it's worth anything. Looks like I can very much sell this series 1 to 5 of some show called Big Love for $35. It'll be good to get that sold and out the door. And you know what? These music stands might be okay. I can probably sell these for about $30. All right, what else we got in here? What is that? I wonder if that's another music stand. It is indeed another music stand. So I don't know how much I'm really going to be able to sell all 4 of these for, or whether they should be sold individually or as a group, but I saw some colorful ones like this sold secondhand on eBay for like $35. So it does seem pretty good. What's that? Oh, it's a Hi-Five OG CD. Nice one. What do we got here? A Sony, good, that's good. Sony what? Sony Dream Machine Clock Radio. Okay, this looks pretty good. If it is working, then I should be able to sell it for between $30 and $40 according to sold comps. And there's not a lot of competition, so the sell-through rate looks pretty good. Now I suspect that the rest of the tub may indeed be all Bob the Builder stuff. Oh, it's packed in. So first cab off the rank is this Bob the Builder lunchbox tin, and it's full of what appears to be Bob the Builder rail train set, builder's set. I don't know what it's called, but it's the stuff that goes with all of this, I presume. So that's train tracks by the look of it. Yes, it is wooden train tracks. And these are little rail car, Bob the Builder, building site. What do you call these things? Little vehicles, little train set vehicle things. Obviously, I'm going to have to do some investigation to get my head around what all of this is worth and the best way to sell it. Pretty sure that's Bob the Builder stuff there. By all means, drop a comment if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, because, well, hint, you'll be right. I don't know what I'm talking about. Here's a Bob the Builder book. Not sure what that's worth. I'll look it up in a sec. And yeah, here's the, is it train set or some sort of like building, like construction site? That's the word I'm looking for. Some sort of construction site thing. Is that Bob the Builder as well? I don't know what I'm looking at. And I've got these bigger vehicles here. I'm going to have to do a deep dive to get my head around all of these things are worth. So give me a second, I'll be back. All right, I have spent a bit of time like the adult that I am, going through all of these Bob the Builder toys and trying to figure out what they are and what they're worth. And look, full disclaimer to you Bob the Builder toy reseller experts out there, I am none of these things. However, I can do a bit of basic comping on, what's it called? Google, the thing Google, and eBay. Just like the lady at the op shop, I'm just as good as she is. And so I've had a good look through. And oh, by the way, op shop, right? That's thrift store if you're in America. In Australia, we call it op shop, okay? Because it's an opportunity for you to buy things cheap and sell them for profit. I didn't get these at an op shop. I got them at a garage sale, but I already told you that, and I digress. So let's get on with business. Let's have a look at what we've got and what I estimate it's all going to be worth. And I'm here to tell you, I think I made a good decision. Now, at the back here, we've got this house thing. And this was the one that Google and eBay were not much help in identifying. I'm not really sure. On the back, it does have the 2001 copyright thing on it, and also the name of the guy who does Bob the Builder. So I'm gathering it has something to do with Bob the Builder or another toy from that era. So I'm not sure. So I'm just going to be pessimistic with that and say 20 bucks. Not sure. Now we got this Bob the Builder Playworks lunchbox over here, and I reckon I can sell that for 25 bucks based on some cold somps. Some sold comps. Gosh, it's time for another coffee. And now we have this 2001 Bob the Builder book. I can sell that for $30 every day of the week. It's in very good condition, although somebody did write a lovely thing to their grandson or something on the inside, but quite neatly, and I don't think it's ruined it. These little Bob the Builder vintage train track guys that go with the Biro wooden train tracks, I reckon maybe they're worth 40 bucks as a set, but that's a hazarded guess. I feel like maybe there's some nuance there that I don't understand yet, but that's my guess for now. Then we've got these cool little wooden peg puzzles. They're from 2001 as well. 2001 was a big year for this kid and his Bob the Builder fetish. Fetish? No, not a fetish. Obsession. They are vintage and cool and all the rest, but alas, I don't think they're worth that much. People are trying to sell them for 20, 30 bucks each. I reckon if I get 20 bucks for the pair, I'll be lucky. This hi-fi CD, I reckon 10 bucks. Then we've got these assorted little minifigures here that were in the lunchbox. I think they're mostly Bob the Builder stuff that kind of comes from the same era. There might be a couple of random bits of junk in there, and I don't really know what they're worth. I don't know the best configurations to sell them, or indeed any of the other Bob the Builder toys yet. That's a bit of work I'm going to have to do to figure out, but I've just put an estimation down at 50 bucks for the lot. I could be way out, I'm not sure, but I feel like, these guys, they kind of go with these trucks and stuff, which are over here, which I've carefully displayed in this tub. These little guys here are basically, if you average them out, actually they're not little, right? They're bigger than those other, let's pick one up that's a bit less easy to break. Right, I mean, you've got a sort of size discrepancy here, right? So they're the bigger ones, but they're plastic. They don't talk, they're not metal, but I think they're from around about the Y2K era as well. They don't have any maker's marks on them, weirdly. But I think that I can get an average of 20 bucks each for these. Scoop was going for 30. Oh, that Scoop. Yeah, maybe because they all broke in the meantime because it looks a bit flimsy. Anyway, I reckon an average of 20 bucks each for those guys. And then last but not least by any means is this rather dull and not particularly impressive looking collection of Brio wooden train tracks from the 2000-ish Bob the Builder wooden train tracks collection, which I reckon there's about 100 bucks worth of wooden train tracks there. I could be wrong. I could be absolutely full of it. But my investigations did prove that they seem to be kind of valuable. And there's a lot there. I mean, I haven't counted them, but there's a bunch. And I reckon, at a guess, 100 bucks. So if you add up all my estimations of the value of what I think is in that orange box, or was in the orange box before I spread it all over my room, I reckon that $100 purchase from that garage sale a couple of years ago is maybe worth about $571 exactly. Maybe estimated exactly $571. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it could be $500, it could be $400, it could be $600. I'm going to have to do some deeper dives into it and figure out the best way to sell this stuff, because I'm not sure I want to sell it all individually. I'm probably going to want to make some different bundles and sell them off. But ultimately, as long as I can keep the amount of labor down, then selling them for $500 or $600 when I bought them for $100 is a pretty good buy. All right, now that I've gone through everything in those boxes and figured out which stuff is rubbish and which stuff is reseller gold, how much do I reckon it was all worth? I mean, I just established that there was probably about $500 to $600 worth of stuff in that orange bucket. But then in the other two buckets and also the sewing machine, I reckon maybe we're getting up to around $700 worth of resale value, maybe more, maybe a bit less. I've had fun making this video and I hope you've enjoyed it too, but here's the thing, if you don't list it, you can't sell it. So now I've got to get busy listing this stuff, otherwise it's just a pile of junk in my room. So I'm going to go and do that now, and maybe you should too. All right, flip you later.